Listen, there's two sides to every argument. I mean, Usman, I guess the thing is, his game plan was very, very obvious. Take Woodley down, which, excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me, there we go, that's better. Which was kind of surprising, to be honest, because I thought while Usman did have on paper a wrestling advantage, Woodley is, he's a very good wrestler in his own right, and he's a hell of an athlete and very strong. So that did surprise me. I thought the fight was going to play out on the feet, but Usman took him down repeatedly, time after time after time. And he did land some good shots. He was working the body and things like that. But, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The referee stood him up. The referee does have a hard job. I mean, especially if there's a lot of boos in the crowd and stuff like that, maybe that affects your decision. But I guess that's where you got to be strong enough to ignore that. But I don't know. I felt like they were on the ground for a while and there wasn't much happening. He stood them up a couple of times. I personally didn't really have an issue with it, but whatever. Commiserations to Tyron Woodley. He was a fantastic champion. It was
a weird. Well, I mean, what do you think of the performance? I texted you during the fight. I think it was maybe 2 rounds in, and you already said he's going to lose this fight. You saw something already early on in that fight that was happening there. He didn't seem like he was ever really awake in that fight.
It certainly wasn't his best performance. I mean, that stands without reason. I mean, he lost the belt, and nobody's going to be more annoyed than Woodley. I will say this: Woodley handled it with class. He congratulated Usman. He says he'll be back. He wants an immediate rematch. I don't think he's going to get one. I really don't think he's going to get one, unfortunately. I like Tyron Woodley as a friend and as a work colleague. He's great. I like the guy. But excuse me, I'm sorry. He did go against the grain a few times with the UFC.
Yeah.
So and in these situations, that's going to affect you for sure. I mean, if you're not one of the popular guys on the roster or you've got a bit of a beef with Dana, it's not the smartest thing. So I don't think we're going to see an immediate rematch. He said afterwards at the post-fight press conference, his body of work deserves one. And whilst that is an argument, you could say, well, hold on, that was his 5th title defense. I guess the counter to that would be, if I was the UFC, I would say, well, hold on a minute. It wasn't a first-round knockout. You didn't get caught by a shot. It was a systematic.
It wasn't close.
5 rounds,
and it wasn't exciting.
Close. And people have seen the fight now. They saw it unravel for 25 minutes.
The reality is,
so there's no need for it. Like sometimes, like Jon Jacek, she was the dominant champion. Rose Namajunas knocked her out inside the first round. It's like, all right, let's give this one a rematch because it was exciting. Joanna deserves it, being a stalemate of the company and a dominant champion, and it was exciting. Nobody wants to buy that rematch again, unfortunately. I'm not trying to take a shit on Tyron Woodley. I love the guy. I think he's awesome.
It's not even his fault, really. I mean, well, I can't say it's not his fault. It's 2 men that are fighting, but Kamaru dictated the fight and dictated what happened in that fight. So if you're blaming anybody on it being quote-unquote a boring fight, it's Kamaru. He did what he had to do to take that title, so I'm not even knocking him for that, but it is what it is. I think that you hit the nail on the head by saying that nobody's going to buy the second fight. Usually a rematch will sell more tickets because people are like, oh shit, bad blood is brewing. It's like you have this bitter rivalry type thing. You've seen that time and time again where the rematch will sell more pay-per-views than the first one. But with this one, people are going to go like, oh, I don't really want to watch that again. Let's see what happens. Like even like the UFC, the immediate rematch, I mean, there has to be something else there. There's more value in putting Tyron up against somebody else that's a star, having a big fight there.
They've already announced he's fighting Colby Covington.
Tyron?
Yeah.
Kamaru.
Sorry. Yeah, Kamaru
is
fighting Colby Covington, which, again, it sounds like I'm trying to dump on Tyron. I'm not. That is the logical matchup, As much as Colby Covington's a fucking tool, as much as he is, he was the interim champion. Now, apparently, he was injured when they offered him a fight, so they went with somebody else, and that's all well and good, and he got stepped over. But now he's here, he's ready, he's healthy. I mean, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Colby Covington, but for what's right in the sport, Colby does deserve it. So he's going to fight Kamaru Usman. Hopefully, for Tyron Woodley. If you're Tyron Woodley, you think, okay, hopefully Covington can beat Usman, because then Woodley could come in and fight Covington, and that'd be fun. So that might be the route back for it.
It's
but
a
the
better
immediate rematch he ain't gonna get.
It's also a better, like, look, to be honest with you, if you're Tyron Woodley, take the ego out of it. You're like, that fight sucks. Like, it's just not a good fight for him. You know, I guess it's easy to say in hindsight, but like, yeah, that is he just got out grappled and couldn't do anything with it. I don't know exactly how much that changes between now and the next fight. It was such a big difference there. Whereas, if Colby could get that win, there's a huge story there, the beef between Colby and Tyron in the background. Tyron's a huge star as it is. He's also come a long way. We talked about this in the last show with the fans. He's really sort of developing his groove with the fans and sort of figuring out how to be a little bit more of a fan favorite. It's not a bad thing necessarily to have Kamaru versus Colby, and then whoever they put Tyron against, or even if Tyron kind of waits and see what happens with that fight, Tyron is always going to be one fight away from a title shot. It's not, from the outside perspective, he's not in a bad position at all. He's in a great position, and if I'm Tyron's people, I'm like, dude, don't fucking fight Kamaru again, because if he loses to Kamaru again, where do you go from there?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then also on top of that, Tyron Woodley, right now, his debut rap album drops today. So if you're a Woodley fan and you like some rap music, check out Chaos Theory. That dropped today, I believe, on iTunes. And, you know, you got to feel for Tyron a little bit. He thought he was going to go out there, have another wonderful world title defense, and then go on this PR tour all over the country trying to drop his album, you know, and promote the album. And now, obviously, all the talk's going to be about the fight, and he just lost that at the weekend. So that kind of backfired a little. That backfired a little bit there. But
all the songs that are like, "I'm the greatest," be like, well, all right, hold on now.
Well, the one is, "I'll beat your fucking ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat," you know. So it's like, oh fuck, shit, does it really work anymore?
No one can beat me at 170 pounds. Oh shit. Well,
in that song, there is "In the Cage, I'm a God." Or something like that. So yeah, but still, it doesn't take anything away from him. You win some, you lose some. You know. I know. We're fucking around. I'm saying, you know, at this level of the sport, fighting the best guys back to back, like you do as a champion. You know, unfortunately, losses happen. Simple as that. And then when you combine that with Woodley, I mean, he's doing the rap stuff as well, and he's acting.
He's great.
You know, he's doing a lot of things. There's a lot of distractions going on. So maybe that played a factor. Maybe not.
I just didn't see any way that Kamaru was going to win that fight. I thought the wrestling was going to cancel each other out, and it was going to end up being a stand-up war. And I thought Tyron was going to be able to have some heat on some big punches, land, connect. It was crazy. Because I was right before the fight started, I told my girlfriend, because she was very into Tyron Woodley sexually. She couldn't just stop talking the whole time. I mean, she just drooling over this fucking guy. I'm like, all right, bitch, relax.
What about Usman though? He's if that's her flavor, if she likes black men, then
no, she
Usman's
literally
a physical specimen.
You and I were literally, we might even be a little racist here. I don't even know what to say, because according to her, Usman is.
There's nothing racist about calling Kamaru Usman a physical specimen, okay?
I think that we are just seeing two muscly black men, whereas she's looking at two men and being able to dictate which men. She thinks Tyron Woodley's gorgeous, and she said Kamaru Usman fucking looked like a whatever she said. I don't know, some animal. It wasn't.
Well,
it wasn't.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Lewis. No. You know, one man's Kamaru is another man's Tyron, or one woman's Kamaru is another man's Tyron. So there you go. But enough of Kim's little fantasies. Let's push that to one side.
I get it. I can't hate. I'm like, I would want him too over me. I kind of want him over her. That's how good looking Tyron Woodley is.
He is a good guy. He's a good looking guy. He's got a hell of a beard. But he doesn't have the belt anymore, which is a shame. It is a shame. But you know, he'll be back. He's good. He made some big money, I'm sure, over his career. I think he was on 2 of the Conor McGregor cards. So as a champ, you get the you get a piece of the pay-per-view. So I'm sure he's got some cheddar stacked, as you Americans like to say. So he's doing all right. He's not going hungry. Let's just put it like that.